what it is. Shout out to this gentleman, though.
I wanted to ask, and I know this may be like a crazy question, but like, for example, and we all pray it doesn't happen because everybody wants the W to come back. So my question is, if for some reason that there was a lockout and, the season didn't come back.
I feel like I can't say that there is or there isn't because I'm not 100% sure, but I know Unrivaled is prepared in so many different instances. And the biggest one being that we own the space that we play in.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to stay here year round as the players of Unrivaled with equity in this league and with space, financial money, all that stuff, we could stay here, train, play.
Tasha Cloud just on a podcast claiming that Unrivaled could sustain itself year round during a potential WNBA lockout because they own their facility, have financial backing, and could keep playing indefinitely. But that confidence glosses over a major issue. Unrivaled is reportedly drawing only around 30,000 viewers per game, numbers that are dwarfed by local events and even many YouTube creators, which raises a serious question about where the optimism comes from given the league's current audience reach.
Y'all can stay there, train, and play, and ain't nobody gonna be watching y'all. That's the part that you're not realizing. Yes, y'all are getting some money from these investors who put in this money. Y'all not making money yet. All of this money that has come in is from investors, okay? Y'all can stay at Unrivaled for 2 years straight and play 3-on-3 all you want. Ain't nobody watching it. At the end of the day, y'all have one season left guaranteed with TNT. After that, they can tell y'all to beat it. Y'all got to start pulling in.
There's this growing belief that Unrivaled and Project B are forcing the WNBA to react, adjust, and negotiate differently. But the actual evidence doesn't support that narrative. The WNBA hasn't publicly responded to Unrivaled in weeks. Total radio silence. While Project B is set to launch in November, directly taking Unrivaled's time slot and already pulling away key players. With Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Thomas opting out of Unrivaled to head to Rome instead, which looks far less like the WNBA feeling pressured and far more like Unrivaled getting squeezed out before it even has a real chance to compete with the main league.
He is only taking on 66 players, and it's not 66 WNBA players. They are taking on players from all throughout the world. Unrivaled can't survive. That's why Nafisa Collier, husband, is talking about he's trying to partner up with the WNBA. Y'all can't survive the way it's going right now. Y'all can't. I'm sorry, y'all can't. This 3-on-3 gimmick thing is not catching on with people. I just gotta be honest and keep it real. So the fact that you sitting here like y'all got all these options, this is delusion. This is the delusional stuff we talking about.
That's the beautiful thing, and that's why I'm so appreciative to be a part of a league like Unrivaled. And even people out there, I know it's
now she's pointing to Project B as if it's validation, as if competition alone proves value. But that logic falls apart under scrutiny. If viewers aren't tuning in to watch Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Thomas play 3-on-3 basketball in Miami, there's no clear reason they'd suddenly download an app to watch them play in Rome, especially when Project B is backed by tech investors whose primary goal is to showcase a streaming platform and move on if it underperforms, making it less a sustainable alternative for players and more a basketball-themed tech experiment. While the core problem remains that Unrivaled lacks the star power that actually drives ratings, with no Caitlin Clark, no Sabrina Ionescu, no Angel Reese, and no Aya Wilson, leaving them with solid, respected players, but not the household names that attract casual fans, which in today's media landscape is everything.
I'm so happy these entities are coming out here because now you have to move because there are challengers to you.
They are showing y'all they haven't responded to y'all in weeks. They don't have to do nothing. Project B is taking over your slot with Unrivaled. Okay, so before they get to the W, Project B will eliminate Unrivaled before they get to the WNBA. You guys, they start in November. Y'all start in January. There's people that are not returning to Unrivaled because they are playing.
Here's where the disconnect really shows. Tasha Cloud seems to believe the WNBA is now competing with upstart leagues and must react or risk losing players. But the WNBA possesses something neither Unrivaled nor Project B can replicate: Caitlin Clark, and the numbers make that unmistakably clear. As games featuring Clark routinely generate triple or even quadruple the viewership of any alternative league, her Iowa games drawing over 3 million viewers and her WNBA debut season delivering ratings the league hadn't seen in more than 20 years, which isn't just star power, but the clear line between a sustainable business and a venture capital experiment. And as long as the WNBA has that level of audience draw, it has little reason to be concerned about Unrivaled's 30,000 viewers or Project B's promises tied to a tech platform.
The WNBPA messes up again. The WNBPA is in shambles, man. We got Tasha Cloud, who I like as a player, talking Delulu. She's filled with that delusional juice that majority of these WNBA unrivaled players have. I cannot believe the nonsense she spewed.
While some players seem to be operating in an alternate reality about their leverage, the WNBA's actual business trajectory tells a very different story. Front Office Sports recently reported that the league is exploring buying back the 16% equity stake it sold in February for $75 million. A deal made when the WNBA urgently needed capital coming out of the pandemic to fund brand growth, marketing, and infrastructure. But just 4 years later, the desire to reclaim that stake signals how dramatically the league's valuation has surged, with team values roughly quadrupling since 2020, 3 expansion teams already added, and 3 more planned this decade. And that same $75 million stake now estimated to be worth at least $250 million, if not more, meaning investors like Condoleezza Rice and Nike are poised to make several times their original investment.
They're not the only ones. What are you talking about? Unrivaled is getting cooked before the WNBA gets cooked by Project B. And furthermore, if nobody is watching Kelsey Mitchell or Alyssa Thomas in Unrivaled, what the hell make you think we about to get on?
This is the reality check players need to hear. The WNBA isn't scrambling because of Unrivaled, and it isn't panicking over Project B. They're exploring a buyback of equity because the league's valuation is surging and they want to lock in greater ownership before it rises even further, which is a power move, not a defensive reaction. And it's happening for one primary reason: Caitlin Clark's impact on the league's business fundamentals. As her rookie season delivered unprecedented attention, record attendance, and broadcast deals that actually move the needle, representing real, measurable value rather than the speculative promises of alternative leagues burning through investor cash.
We can get more people at a local cookout than what y'all getting at these damn Unrivaled games. We getting more views as YouTubers than what y'all getting on these Unrivaled games. Like, stop playing games. Stop playing games. Y'all not as much of a hot commodity as you are trying to lead on and portray. The WNBA is looking to potentially buy back 16% of the stake sold in 2022. You know, when Cathy Engelbert had to raise that $75 million for marketing and all types of other things this league needed to stay afloat. We got to break this all down, man, and how this ultimately affects Caitlin Clark. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video as always. All right, we got to start with...
Listen to how he frames it at the start. The WNBPA is in disarray, and he's not wrong. Because while the Players Association is negotiating a new CBA, some players are publicly claiming they have all these alternative options that, in reality, don't hold up under scrutiny. Unrivaled is just one guaranteed season left with TNT before the network can walk away if ratings don't improve. Project B is only taking 66 players total from leagues around the world, not 66 WNBA players, and none of these represent the leverage points players think they are, creating a staggering disconnect where players speak as if they're holding premium negotiating cards while the numbers tell a very different story, with Unrivaled drawing a fraction of WNBA viewership. Its media deal short-term and performance-based, and Project B still unproven beyond showing that tech money is willing to experiment with women's basketball, none of which meaningfully strengthens the WNBPA's negotiating position the way they seem to believe it does.
I believe the nonsense Tasha Cloud was on this podcast skewing. Some of y'all should just stay away from cameras and microphones. I just got to be honest. We gotta keep it real, man. Some of y'all get in front of these cameras. Media training. That's what I'm gonna. Media training. WNBA. Put that in the CBA. These ladies need media training. They don't know what they doing on camera. None of them, except Caitlin Clark. Listen, let's take a listen to what Tasha Cloud.
This is the core issue that actually matters. While many players are overestimating their leverage by pointing to alternative leagues, Caitlin Clark is the one truly driving the WNBA's surge in value. She's the reason team valuations have quadrupled. The league can even consider buying back its equity stake. Broadcast partners are paying attention, and casual fans are tuning in, creating an unavoidable tension in the upcoming CBA negotiations between players pushing demands based on illusory alternatives like Unrivaled and Project B, and the reality that the league's newfound strength comes from real, measurable business fundamentals tied largely to Clark's arrival, as her games draw millions, sell tickets, move merchandise, and generate appointment viewing in a way no rival league or 3-on-3 experiment can match, making it clear that Unrivaled's 30,000 viewers, Project B's untested model, and short-term investor-funded ventures are not legitimate threats to the WNBA, but speculative side projects riding the broader growth of women's basketball, a growth happening inside the WNBA, meaning players absolutely deserve better pay, travel, and conditions, but their strongest negotiating position comes from acknowledging where the actual value lies rather than pretending struggling alternative leagues provide leverage. Because that fantasy undermines credible arguments for revenue sharing, gives the league grounds to dismiss demands as unrealistic, and ignores what the market is clearly saying. The WNBA's momentum, confidence, and rising valuation exist because transcendent talent has finally made the product valuable to protect, and successful CBA negotiations will depend on negotiating from that reality, not from delusion.